Am I the asshole for refusing to get tested to see if I'm a bone marrow match for my dad's wife? Okay, so this is a bit of a doozy. Too long did not read. Am I the asshole for not forgiving my father for how he let his wife treat me and refusing to get tested to help his wife? I, 34F, have not had a relationship with my father, 63M, in roughly 18 years. My mother died when I was 6, and he remarried when I was 10. His wife, who all refer to as B, has always treated me terribly. I can remember more than one meal where she forgot to make enough for everyone, so she made me a peanut butter sandwich. She knew I was allergic to peanuts. Then she'd bitch at me for being ungrateful and I wouldn't get dinner at all. She forgot me more than once at stores. I was also quite frequently left to watch her children who destroyed my belongings and wouldn't listen. My father always blew it off. I was too sensitive, it must have been an accident, I needed to understand it was a big adjustment for her kids, I just needed to get over it. When I turned 16, B gave me a gift that she said was from the whole family. Eviction papers. My father just said it was for the best. I had nowhere to go and no job. I couch surfed for 2 years until I thankfully got a scholarship and left for college. I started going to therapy and after a lot of years realized I wasn't the problem. That I was put into a terrible position and the person who was supposed to protect me didn't. Here's where I'm probably ta. I received a letter from my father, B is sick and they're trying to find a bone marrow match. I was incredulous. He actually wanted me to get tested to see if I could save the bitch who made my life hell for years. I was furious, and a whole ton of resentment came back. I threw the letter away. Any other letter I marked return to sender. I know I should probably be the bigger person and get tested, but I'm still so resentful of everything she put me through and everything my dad allowed to happen. Maybe it's me, but if you throw your kid away you don't get to ask them for anything ever. And before anyone asks, yes, I am still in therapy. So am I the asshole for refusing to get tested to see if I'm a match for my father's sick wife? I, 34F, have not had a relationship with my father, 63M, in roughly 18 years. Automatic not the asshole. Extra not the asshole based on the fact that she and your father were literally abusive to you. Not the asshole. You were abused, abandoned, and this is someone reaping what they sow. Maybe it's me, but if you throw your kid away you don't get to ask them for anything ever. It's not just you. Not the asshole. Maybe talk with your therapists about responding with a letter or something so they stop writing you. Not the asshole. Please, don't for 1 second think you're an asshole for not getting tested for someone who actively abused you. She wouldn't make enough for dinner, but then make you food you are allergic to just so she'd have a reason to complain about you being ungrateful, and your father just allowed that to happen. He failed you. She left you at stores and it was never brought up. You were failed again. Her kids were allowed to destroy your belongings and no consequences were given. All the children were failed, because those kids could act up worse later. They evicted you at 16, which is illegal in most places that I know of, and now have the audacity to ask you to get tested to help her? They failed you for years, you owe them nothing. Let me repeat, you are absolutely not the asshole. Not the asshole, they are just using you and as soon as they are done with you they will throw you to the curb again. Don't fall for it. Not the asshole. I was side-eyeing this when you got PB sandwiches and said, hell no, when you were evicted at 16. Those examples are so far beyond normal blended family bullshit. You are taking the high road by not responding. I'm not sure what I would do in your shoes, but a big, eat shit and die, statement would be in there somewhere. Not the asshole, but get tested, and if you are the match, accidentally, forget about it. You aren't related, what are the odds that you would even match? It was kinda ridiculous for him to ask in the first place. Not the asshole. I'll start by saying not the asshole. Now your story made me so angry that I was about to suggest you get tested, find you're a match, inform them you're a match but refuse to donate. But then I realized that would be an asshole move and you cutting contact as being the bigger person. You're doing the right thing. That lady was a monster to you, but more importantly the man that was supposed to protect you didn't. I know your mom would be devastated. Your mental health is far more important than getting mixed back into these people's lives. Info. Why wouldn't you take the letter to CPS and get help? You could have taken advantage of all sorts of resources. Better question. Why didn't anyone you were couch surfing with do that? Not the asshole for ignoring your stepmother. Not the asshole. I am incredibly sorry about what you went through. You owe them nothing. They treated you awfully and threw you out, not caring if you became homeless. It was awful. You deserved better and owe them absolutely nothing. Not the asshole, she served you eviction papers at 16 and your father let her. One of her kids can get tested. You don't need to put your body and health on the line for someone who shouldn't even be contacting you. Not the asshole. 100%. And it is fine to throw away the letter S if you want. Think of it this way, if you got tested and were a match, would you, in fact, donate your bone marrow to her? Or would you withhold it, with all of you knowing that you were a match but chose not to help? If you know that you absolutely would not donate, then don't bother, because the only purpose the testing would serve would be revenge. Like, I can't even begin to say how much not the asshole you are. Karma, baby, karma. Fuck him, and fuck her. Don't do anything for them. Not the asshole. These people are not your family. You don't owe them anything. Not the asshole, at all. Your father allowed and enabled neglect as you were growing up, and they're you out at the age of 16 years old. They made you homeless at 16. You're under no obligation to help them, no matter what the circumstances. Get tested, and if you're a match, send them a copy of the medical report saying it and tell them to get bent. I'm sure this is not the point of your post, but, if you are not a close genetic relative, sibling or child, typically you cannot be tested, for her. Insurance only authorizes testing of immediate genetic relatives for a particular patient. You could get tested and join the registry for free, which you definitely should do. You could save the life of a stranger, and, in most cases, bone marrow donation is pretty easy for the donor. Edit. And, initial testing in most cases is just a cheek swab. They can mail you a kit in the US, and you just mail it back. When I turned 16, B gave me a gift that she said was from the whole family. Eviction papers. I'll take shit that never happened for 500, Alex. Not the asshole. Even if you did match with her, which is unlikely, you don't owe her a thing. She abandoned and abused you and your dad enabled that. Don't feel bad for this. Not the asshole. That woman put you through hell. She wasn't there for you when you needed it, so you certainly don't need to be there for her. Even if she hadn't sucked and had been a fantastic stepmom, it is your body and you get to do what you want with it. I hope you're doing better now. Not the asshole. And I hope you're reading all these comments in your support. Be strong. I know if I had gotten evicted at 16, I'd likely have died on the streets. You've overcome incredible hardship. You've worked hard to be better, to get where you are. You owe them nothing, friend. Nothing at all. You are the asshole for wasting our time with this. You 100% already know the answer. There isn't any conceivable way you are not the asshole on the facts presented. Not the asshole. You are absolutely not the asshole for not wanting to help someone who made life so terrible for you. Doing it would be an amazing thing to do, but it's simply a favor. You have no obligation towards them. They kicked you out, treated you horribly, no contact for 18 years, and suddenly they're running to you for help. Not the asshole, op. Not the asshole. You don't owe B anything. They're going through something very hard, but they have no right to try to guilt you into something you don't want to do. The things you've written about are more than enough reason to continue ignoring them. Cutting their toxicity out of your life after they illegally evicted you was, emo, the best thing. Your father should have protected you. He failed you. He should have married someone that loved you as their own, and he failed you in that as well. Don't feel badly about this. Not the asshole. Truthfully, I'm so petty I'd get tested then if I was a match, send them the results and decline to save her life. You don't owe them anything. You can say, sorry I forgot to make enough bone marrow for the both of us, maybe a peanut butter sandwich will do the trick. LMAO. It has nothing to do with being the bigger person. In fact, that is what your father should have done when she was abusing you, but he just let it happen and encouraged it. Just ignore them and continue with your positive growth. Edit. Adding. Not the asshole at all. This is icing on the selfish cake that your parents baked. You learned you are better off without them, don't forget that. Not the asshole. I'm afraid I would have given him a piece of my mind, but it's better that they have no ammunition to shoot with. You done good. Hang in there. Absolutely not the asshole. For some context, I have been a stem cell donor before, and even if you love the person you are donating to, the process can be extremely daunting. You absolutely do not owe this to anyone. The process can be long and exhausting. Please do not feel like the asshole for refusing to get tested. You have every single right to say no, especially given the circumstances. Op. You owe this person nothing. On numerous occasions she tries to kill you with peanut butter. And the years of emotional abuse, let her kids get tested. Keep returning the letters returned to sender. Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole, huge not the asshole. Not the asshole. You never have to do anything to your body for another person if you don't want to. Not the asshole, but don't let her make you write off bone marrow donation. If you want to really stick it to both of them, get tested on your own and donate to a stranger. What a slap in the face when they realize you'd rather give your time to a stranger than her. Plus it'll feel great to help save someone you aren't connected to. Not the asshole. They are not entitled to anything from you. Get the test. If it matches, send them the results. And then tell them both to go fuck themselves. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Don't give this man or his wife a damn thing. They're worse than strangers to you at this point. Not the asshole. In fact, even if you got tested, found out you were a match and didn't give he any bone marrow, I'd still say not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's not your family, and you don't owe her anything. A letter of resentment is one of the calmest things you could have done. Not the asshole. Even if you were a nightmare child and teen, they kicked you out at 16 YOA. That's illegal and morally reprehensible. They have had 18 years to reach out. Now when they need something, they want you to literally give them a piece of you. You don't owe them, especially her, anything. Yeah, it would be a nice thing to do, but in no way should you feel obligated. Side note, you mention it brings up being angry all over again. I totally get that. Do you think there might be some catharsis in writing a letter back saying no and detailing why? Your choice in how much detail, venom, etc. to include, whatever you're comfortable with. Not the asshole. Holy shit, I would consider getting tested and hoping for a positive match just so you can dangle it in front of them and say no. Is it even legal to kick out a 16-year-old? This is insane. The audacity. Not the asshole. If they keep sending letters, get a lawyer to send a cease and desist to them. I don't even care if it's covered by that, do it anyway because these people are disgusting. Who evicts a minor with nowhere to go? Your stepmother was a cow and your father failed as a parent. Not the asshole. The cheek of it. She made her own future, now let her live it the way she paved it. Not the asshole. There is no way you're an asshole in this situation and you don't have to try and justify that to anyone. They can all get bent. Not the asshole. Forget to get tested and then send her a peanut butter sandwich. See if she's grateful of not the asshole. In fact, even if you got tested, found out you were a match and didn't give he any bone marrow, I'd still say not the asshole. You already said it. If you throw your kid away, you don't get to ask them for anything ever. Not the asshole. Don't do it. Shame on you, op. You should get tested and hopefully you are a match. Send them the results and tell them you forgot to make enough for her though, but she's more than welcome to a peanut butter sandwich. I know I should probably be the bigger person and get tested, but I'm still so resentful of everything she put me through and everything my dad allowed to happen. You're already a better person than I am. I would 100% be cackling down the phone saying I hope her death is long and painful. Not the asshole.